Everybody, it's me, Matt Spurs, and I'm back again with another video about Tottenham Hotspur. In today's video, I want to talk about Kieron Trippier and some of the comments he's made about Tottenham. Okay, so today we're going to talk about Kieron Trippier. He had an interview with a podcast and he made some interesting comments regarding Tottenham. Firstly, what he did say is he knew he was going to leave Tottenham last summer after he had spoken to Daniel Levy and Maurizio Pochettino. When asked, both Daniel Levy and Maurizio Pochettino didn't give him a concrete yes when he asked if he was in their plans for this season. That meant that he felt that he had to leave Tottenham. Also, he had heard from other people that Tottenham were offering his services to other clubs. And when finally Atletico Madrid came in with a 20 million plus bid, which was accepted by Spurs, he knew he had to leave. Right now he's enjoying playing at Atletico Madrid. He enjoys playing under manager Diego Simeone and learning from him, and of course being in one of the most successful teams in Spain. Obviously, though, one of the biggest surprising or interesting comments that he did make was in regards to Mousa Dembele, because he says that if Mousa Dembele had stayed at Tottenham until the end of last season, Tottenham could have clinched the Champions League trophy. Maybe we could have won the final. Obviously, Mousa Dembele had a big influence in the squad. He is probably one of the best midfielders to play at Spurs in the last 10 years, I think. When he was on the ball, it was pretty difficult to get the ball off of him. However, I felt in his last season, he didn't really play that well. His form digressed a little bit, and he couldn't complete a 90-minute football match. And obviously in November of 2000, I think it was 2018, he got injured against Wolves in a game that we won 3-2. Maybe you remember, because Juan Foyth gave away 2 penalties in that match and we were lucky to come away with a 3-2 win. But still, nowadays winning away at Wolves I think is a good result. But from November until pretty much the end of January, he was injured the whole time, didn't play and didn't really train. So I don't think you can blame Tottenham for wanting to sell him. To get 10 million plus for a player in the last 6 to 5 months of their contract, I think is a good deal, rather than let him go for a free. And of course we all know Daniel Levy, he likes to get a good deal, and he probably thought this was a good deal, so he was sold. Maybe it did have an effect on the team, because obviously the team's results after January wasn't very good. We kind of were in the title race around Christmas, but then slipped out after a few losses. But we did get to the Champions League final, and we didn't have Mousa Dembele in our team during the games leading up to the final, including against Dortmund in the last 16, and obviously Manchester City in the quarterfinals and Ajax in the semi-finals. We didn't have Mousa Dembele at all, and even last season he didn't really play that much at all anyway. But anyway, I will read his quote. This is a quote from Kieron Trippier. He said, "For me, I felt personally it was about selling Mousa Dembele. He was the best player I've ever played with. For me, you can't replace him. We sold him in January. I don't know about his situation, and maybe he wanted to go. I personally feel that if we had kept him for an extra 4 or 5 months and let him go on a free in the summer, we would have done a lot better. I think we would have won the final." So obviously Kieron Trippier was pretty clear that maybe we would have won the final. And obviously he did mention that Mousa Dembele is probably the best player he's ever played with. And if you ask any Tottenham Hotspur player, they usually say the same. I've seen a lot of these videos where they ask the players who's the best player you've played with at Spurs, or who's the best player you've ever played with, and a number of them do say Mousa Dembele. So maybe that did have an effect on the squad, but I don't think we can say that we would have won the Champions League final with Mousa Dembele. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think we should have kept Mousa Dembele till the end of the season? Do you think if he played in the final, we would have become the champions of Europe? Anyway, I just want to go through some other news regarding contracts and transfers. One piece of contract news is Mauricio Pochettino's son, who is in the youth team, has signed a contract with Tottenham. And in the picture that he released, ex-manager Mauricio Pochettino was behind him wearing a Spurs t-shirt. So obviously he still feels very happy about the club, and he still loves Tottenham. Even though we sacked him in November last year, he has a great affinity towards our club, and I really felt when I saw that picture that it was really lovely. It made me feel good about him even more. His magic, you know. And you never know, maybe in the future he will be back at Spurs, maybe after a few other jobs. I have heard some news that's come out of Portugal that he's about to become Benfica's new manager, and he will have a few bob to spend. So maybe Benfica will be a good team next season. In other news, there's a couple of transfer stories around Lucas Vázquez. Lucas Vázquez is a Real Madrid attacking midfielder, and he would cost around 20 million euros. Do we need another attacking midfielder? I don't think so, but maybe he will replace Lamela, who could be leaving the club. I've also read a few stories regarding Pierre Højbjerg, that Spurs are in talks with his agent and Southampton. Maybe the deal depends on Kyle Walker-Peters going the other way. The Southampton manager is impressed with Kyle Walker-Peters, so it could be something that happens. Also, Timothy Castagna, who is a right back who plays currently at Italian Serie A club Atalanta, has said, "When a team like Tottenham come knocking on your door, you can hardly refuse." He does also mention PSG, Paris Saint-Germain as well, so he is interested in moving this summer. Tottenham could be looking for a new right back to replace Serge Aurier, and maybe he'll be on his way to Spurs, but obviously this is just a quote as well that he's said. But anyway, that's all the transfer news I have for you today, and I'll be back with another video tomorrow. But anyway, if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments below. And if you want to see more, make sure you press subscribe. And until next time, come on you Spurs.